Replacing a star is very challenging, and, as is typical in the transfer market, some new signings succeed while others fail. Nonetheless, there are a rare few that turn out to be astonishingly terrible, making you question whether the scouts who discovered them were perhaps not fully sober when watching games. In this video, we'll explore 8 of the most disastrous player replacements in the history of football. Let's begin with an easy one. When Fernando Torres moved to Chelsea for £50 million, Liverpool opted to use a substantial portion of that money to acquire a promising young striker from Newcastle. He had been consistently scoring in the Championship and even had a decent season in the Premier League, making it appear like a wise investment at the time. However, he managed to score just 6 goals in the league during the following 18 months. Not much different from Torres' performance at Chelsea, to be fair. Eventually, he was sent on loan to West Ham. Now, it's worth noting that this answer is cheating a little bit. Around the same time they brought in the Newcastle striker, Liverpool also signed a controversial Uruguayan player, whose tenure at Anfield proved to be slightly more successful. Our first mention of Spurs in this list is interesting because it involves a player who was expected to directly replace Bale. In reality, nearly all of Spurs' 2013 signings could have made this list. When the 2013 summer transfer window closed, Garth Crooks humorously remarked, "Spurs have sold Elvis and signed the Beatles." The list of signings indeed seemed impressive. Eriksson, Chadli, Soldado, Paulinho, Chiriches, Capoue and Lamela all brought in for the departure of just one Welshman. It might have appeared as an incredible business deal, right? Not exactly. Out of the Magnificent Seven, Eriksson is the only one who can be definitively labelled a success. Lamela's time at White Hart Lane has been marred by injuries, although he has occasionally displayed moments of brilliance, such as his Rabona goal against Asteras. Since he was the one expected to step into Bale's shoes, given that he's a left-footed right winger, he can be seen as the biggest disappointment among the replacements. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. Now, let's get back to the video and discuss a more recent transfer. When Andre Onana passionately expressed his frustration at Harry Maguire for an error during Manchester United's pre-season game against Borussia Dortmund in Nevada, it appeared as though Erik ten Hag had brought in a goalkeeper who shared his mindset. The decision by the United manager to let go of the long-standing David De Gea in the summer, following a season marked by errors, seemed to showcase his determination to restore the club to its former glory. The circumstances of De Gea's departure warrant a separate discussion, but Ten Hag received accolades for following the paths blazed by Pep Guardiola with Joe Hart and Jurgen Klopp with Lloris Karius. De Gea is still without a club, and there are a few fans wondering whether his departure has been advantageous for either him or the club. And this is a valid question. Onana's list of errors is already nearly as extensive as De Gea's from last season, and we're only in October. Onana's shot-stopping abilities, which have occasionally let United down, are often seen as less significant than his capacity to distribute the ball. Initially, supporters were impressed by his precise kicking and passing. However, even that aspect of his game now appears to be tainted by clumsiness. Has Manchester United made a mistake? Tell us your opinion. Now, let's delve into another goalkeeper transfer. How does one go about replacing a legendary goalkeeper like Peter Schmeichel? Well, certainly not with Mark Bosnich, as Sir Alex Ferguson painfully discovered during the 1999-2000 season. In his recent autobiography, Sir Alex had this to say about Bosnich. Mark got off to a really bad start. He turned up 3 hours late for his first day of training, and he was overweight. To be frank, Bosnich's tenure at United didn't improve much from there. He had been brought in to step into the shoes of one of the greatest goalkeepers the game has ever seen, and he clearly struggled to handle the immense pressure of the role. Mark Bosnich, widely recognised as one of the most significant disappointments, failed to make a lasting impact in his second stint at United and subsequently moved on to Chelsea. During his time at Stamford Bridge, he made just 5 appearances before departing from football for a lengthy 8-year hiatus. Not an ideal situation, to say the least. It's quite telling that it's really difficult to find a picture of Eduardo that doesn't showcase his gruesome ankle injury suffered against Birmingham City. It's a tragic what-if scenario, contemplating what could have been had that incident not occurred. The Croatian-Brazilian player appeared to possess significant talent, but the truth is, he was always going to face a formidable challenge in filling the shoes of Thierry Henry, arguably the greatest foreign player ever to grace the Premier League. Eduardo managed to score 8 goals for Arsenal in 41 appearances, but he was never the same player after that injury. However, even without the injury, it's doubtful that he could ever truly measure up to the iconic stature of Henry, isn't it? Next up in 2007, Tottenham Hotspur witnessed a unique event, their first ever Joint Player of the Month award. Berbatov and Keane formed a strike partnership for the ages, complementing each other's strengths perfectly. Berbatov was the playmaker, showcasing exquisite touches that matched his movie-star good looks. On the other hand, Keane was the clinical finisher, a true box poacher known for celebrating his smart goals with cartwheels and finger guns. However, for some inexplicable reason, Spurs made the decision to sell both of them in the same transfer window. Their replacements, particularly one striker with a name too long to fit on a shirt, failed to inspire enthusiasm among fans. Pav occasionally produced wonder goals, but little else. It came as no surprise when Jermaine Defoe was signed in January to inject some much-needed firepower up front. While Defoe was a fan favourite for his ability to rocket the ball into the top corner, Pavlyuchenko did very little to erase the memory of the exceptional partnership that Spurs had just lost. In the second spot, we find a seriously regrettable move by Chelsea. While memories may vary, Diego Costa, on his good days, was an unstoppable force. Costa, known for his combative style, netted 52 goals in 89 appearances for Chelsea and served as a formidable focal point in the Stamford Bridge attack. He was a vital asset until Antonio Conte inexplicably phased him out. The decision to replace Costa with Morata initially seemed promising, and Chelsea invested around £60 million in the Spaniard, who impressively scored 8 goals in his first 11 matches. However, looking back, it's evident that this was not a wise choice. Morata underperformed to such an extent that he ended up joining Atletico Madrid after a season-long loan, even surpassing Costa in the pecking order there. Life can indeed be quite unpredictable. Now, we've reached the final replacement, and it almost feels unnecessary to explain what occurred here. The names involved should suffice to illustrate the gravity of Manchester United's misjudgment. Nevertheless, let's delve into it. After securing a then world record £80 million transfer fee for Cristiano Ronaldo in 2009, that same summer, Sir Alex Ferguson attempted to replicate his knack for discovering obscure young wingers and transforming them into superstars. This time, it was Gabriel Obertan's turn to step into the spotlight. To put it mildly, this endeavour was about as successful as David Moyes' era at Old Trafford. The Frenchman managed a mere 14 league appearances over 2 years, and currently plies his trade at the renowned Turkish club BB Erzurumspor. But this wasn't the first, nor will it be the last, questionable business decision made by Manchester United. If you're interested in learning about the worst summer signings, you've come to the right spot. We've got a video just for you. Do you share our views on these selections? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave your comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to show your support by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you.